So, I first have to just do this. Okay, I was just trying to show you the fluffiness. She was laying there super cute. Which I feel bad because I'm like, I have to do this thing that just annoys her. It would annoy me too if I was laying and chilling. And I put a camera up to someone put a camera up to my face, like, hello. So, no wonder she doesn't like cuddling with me too much anymore. She used to come up to me more. Now she's kind of like, nah, you're too weird. So I need to stop bugging her. Let me fix this. I don't know. Or maybe more like here. Like that. Oh, because then you don't see. I want green. Lots and lots of green. Okay. So, I need it to be more like that. Kinda, yeah. I love these jammies so much. I'm obsessed with them. With the matching. I just love them. And they're soft. And they're amazing. And I honestly could just live in them. But, yeah. Okay. Coffee. It sucks, like, coffee is such a fickle friend. One moment I'm like, yeah, but then I feel it come down and I'm like, I need more. So, dang, I've already wasted 4 minutes. I hope you can hear me, because sometimes I feel like the audio is just bad. Okay. As per usual, I'm making this video and I'm like, I should really be doing other things right now. But I don't want to do those other things. Sorry, hold on a second. Okay, it's nothing. I'll like hear this like commotion. I'm like, what's going on? And it's just the chickens. So there were a lot of things that I had in my mind to say. And also, as per usual, I'm just drawing a giant blank now. But let me just try and persist. That's the only way. I'm freaking tired, but it's like a kind of drained, kind of tired. Ugh. And I am feeling pretty darn emotional. And it is like a Cancer full moon today. So. And Mars is also retrograde in Cancer. And Cancer is like the mothery sign. And it's also my mother's sign. And my Mars is also in Cancer. I don't think it's retrograde though. Thank God. Because truthfully, Cancer is already very retrograde in and of itself. Because retrograde is kind of like past. And Cancer is like already a sign of the past and like memories. So, all that being said, collectively, I feel like there's a lot of emotions at play. Memories, yada yada. I literally just had to start my day by... Well, I had this dream about my ex. And it just made me really sad. And then I kind of like just decided to masturbate thinking about him and then crying, which is a pretty common thing for me at this point. It's like I can't even do that without crying. And it is usually because I'm thinking of some past person. And then I was thinking about how my Mars in Cancer, I feel like really does that to me. And or like, you know, that's just, you know, like we all have weaknesses, like guilty habits, whatever. And mine is definitely, that's definitely one of them, is just being stuck in the past. And I remember being with that said ex and like still being sad and crying over the ex before him and being sad that he wasn't him, and just like, and now I'm crying about the other one. And yeah, it's just hard when you got sucked into the past a lot, because you really lose your ability to appreciate the present moment, which is really important. And yeah, I find it interesting that there's a lot of people that get like so hung up on like the future and where they want to be or something, but I'm always going backwards. Even since I was a little kid, like my parents were like, "You're interesting," because most little kids are can't wait to grow up and drive a car and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, literally since 4 or something, I was like, just always wanting to stay little, never grow up, wanted to be younger, wanted to be a baby again, and I was also like the older sibling, so I feel like that really set it into, was like, I was the first to go to school while I watched my younger sibling get to stay home. If I want to stay home and just play, the first one to like bring home homework. I'm like, I don't want to bring, I was like, it became very obvious to me that growing up just meant more responsibilities and stuff, and I did not like that. I was like, being younger is way more blissful. You get to have way more fun. I don't want to grow up at all. And that is definitely still a thing. This freaking spots are driving me nuts. Okay. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm like totally mumbling. I like feel out of breath. I feel like, and yeah, I'll just say it again. Even though I don't necessarily like saying it, because I still can't fathom it. I am pregnant. There's a rooster. I don't know if you can hear him. He's pretty chill. As far as roosters go, I'm the year of the rooster. It's about to be the year of the snake, too. I don't know how I feel about that. But that's okay. I really actually got through a lot of the things I was thinking of saying. But boy, did I actually have a lot I was thinking of saying. I'm just realizing. It's like, oh my god. The things that my brain will think in the span of 10 minutes sitting and drinking coffee is like insane. Sometimes. I really do feel like sometimes I just get swamped in thoughts. And it really is like a roller coaster. It's like I'm just sitting there, but in my mind, it's like, sometimes it's like 3 different roller coasters going on at once. Or something like that, And that's why I feel like I won't really know how I'm feeling, because of all that going on. And then I'll just start like getting sad and emotional, and I just won't even know why. Because there's just so much going on. And I've really always felt like that, but it seems definitely accentuated in this giant period feeling pregnancy thing. It is what it kind of reminds me of. It's just like a ginormous period where you don't bleed. Where you kind of just wish you would. Like, it has that PMSing aspect too, where you're just like, okay, just let it out already. But it's not, it's just build up, build up, build up, build up. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. But and I have to go to the bathroom all the time, which, believe it or not, I already had that problem. So the fact that that has gotten so much worse is just also insane. It really just is adding to that feeling of like being alive and being a human is exhausting. It's so much work. Which sounds stupid, like how's going to the bathroom work? But it is. What about when you're walking around and there is no bathroom and you gotta find one, like, and then just like add doing it all the time. It'd be one thing if it was like here and there, but sometimes it just feels like never ending thing. It'd be one thing if you just did laundry in the end, but it's never ending thing. I was thinking about the cycles of pain thing too. What was that? I had so many fucking thoughts. But I do have to go to the bathroom, so hold on. Okay. I don't know why I was like just suddenly just wanted to move the camera around. I don't know why. I was just thinking about how it really is so wild to me that this house I'm living in is the same house I lived in years ago. Which isn't too surprising for this area because it really is just like a small little community like that. But it's still pretty wild. It's really pretty wild to me. And you know, it has that just like coming full circle feeling. I'm like trying to get the Blue Eyes vibe going on, if you haven't noticed. And it's just crazy. It's crazy to think that this place that I was sitting in would end up being like if I knew I would wind up here again pregnant is just crazy. And I mean, truthfully, that's been my status a lot, but not pregnant, but like when I was here before, years ago, it was just definitely more so than other times, though. I just, like, I was in a very, like, dark place, just, like, really, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I didn't have a car or a license or anything or know how to drive, and I was just sort of stuck here with this guy. And I felt super trapped and like not safe, and like I didn't know how I was going to make anything get better. You know, I was like, how am I going to get a job? How am I going to go to work? there's no way I'm going to be able to get rides from this person all the time. And I was hoping maybe get this one place, but I wasn't sure if it was going to work out. And I was just sitting here all the time, like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I remember sitting in that table over there, and I was genuinely, like, kind of convinced that the guy broke my phone on purpose, but... And then I was like, now I can't communicate with anybody. I didn't have any internet service, really, or something. And it was just... And I remember sitting there and finding out my friend was getting married to my cousin on, like, a Facebook message that I checked on the computer. And I was like, oh my gosh, and I wanted to go to the wedding, but I was in such a crazy place in my life. Flash forward, they're divorced now. I'm still sad I couldn't make it to that wedding, though. It's just crazy how it all changed. And, like... And I remember being there at my cousin's over Christmas last year. And he was throwing out a bunch of stuff, and it was like all their old wedding stuff, and it was so sad. And I remember that kitty. I see him there. Let's see if I can show him to you. I don't know if you could see that. He's so cute. He's pretty much just the cutest kitty that ever lived. It's kind of a nice angle, but the sun is in my face, so I can't do that. I will go blind. Okay. Am I really just gonna spend this whole video talking about my memory thoughts? Maybe. And, like, obsessing over the camera angle, apparently. I need to stop. Because it'll never end. Okay, so, yeah. Memories, blah, blah, blah. My hair. Okay. Whatever. It looks bad in this light, but I don't think it actually looks that bad in real life. Or, you know, kinda. I'm losing my train of thought. I feel like I had no real direction either. Oh yeah, like, I also just remember being in this house, and not only did I not know how I was going to get a job or anything, and I didn't want to live here anymore because I didn't want to live with that person anymore. because, like, they wanted to be with me and I didn't want to be with them. I just moved in because I had nowhere to go, and they let me stay. And that's why I thought they broke my phone. Such a weird time. And I was really lonely, and I did really want somebody to hold and love and be there for me, because I felt so alone and so scared and so sad. Like, I did really, really want love. And I did have, like, just a bunch of flings that didn't work out at all. So that was making me really want somebody too, like someone that actually just wanted to stay and be with me. And I just didn't really have any hope that I was going to be able to find anything like that. And it's funny because I found all that stuff while I was here. Somehow. I did. And I don't know, I was just thinking that, and that's like making me emotional too, because I'm like, if you could sit here then, years ago, in this same place, with way less, by the way, because now you have a car and a license, game changer. But like, if you could sit there then, and somehow suddenly find all of that, like, who's to say that can't happen again? And like, it was the same thing. Like, I just had there was like no light at the end of the tunnel, you know? I just kind of prayed. And I don't even know if I really prayed. I was just taking it day by day so hard. You know, and I was trying. I was really trying to try. And it's funny too, because when I came to this place again, to live here again now, I didn't realize it was going to be the same place I lived years ago. And we pulled up on the gate, and I just instantly remembered that moment, because like, years ago when I was here, what ended up happening, there were a lot of parties here when I was here years ago. The guy would throw a lot of, I don't know if you would really call them parties. Yeah, a bunch of his buddies, so-called buddies, would just show up and drink a bunch. Like, a lot. The house would just be filled with beer bottles and boxes all the time. And this girl was here. And I was really drunk and needed to go to sleep, so she like was all nice to me and like put me to bed. She's like, "Here, I'll take you to bed, here you go." And then like 10 minutes later, you know, I wasn't fully asleep and I heard her just talking hella shit about me. How I hooked up with all these people and what was I gonna do? Just fuck everybody, like, kind of just calling me a stupid slut whore, shady, weird person. And it made me really sad, and I was just laying in my bed hearing them talk crap about me. And I was super sad and angry. And I woke up the next day, and the roommate guy, had to like go do some job thing. And as soon as he left, this was before my phone broke. this is part of why I think he broke my phone, is there was this one random guy that I just remembered bumping into. Actually met him on Halloween at this party, and then we bumped into him again super randomly. Me and the guy I was living with here, we went on this little hike, and then it ended up raining, and we did this super long hike that shot us back out to the main road, and then we were trying to walk all the way home, which would have been the craziest longest walk ever, and it was totally raining. And the other guy in his car, just saw us and pulled over and picked us up. And then what did we do? I feel like then we ended up hanging out, but it almost makes me feel like the roommate didn't come, and or maybe he did. I can't remember, but I remember he picked us up in the rain. And somewhere along the lines, I got his number. Or he added me on Instagram or something. And I just shot in the dark, messaged him, because I was upset about them talking shit about me the night before. And I was just I just messaged him hey, you want to hang out? Because I just really wanted someone to hang out with, I guess. And he just instantly responded and was oh, yeah, I would, but I have to work. And I was bummer. And he was maybe when I get off work. And then, literally minutes later, he was just kidding, never mind. I'm not working anymore. Where are you? Are you at the place? I'll come scoop you up. Pick you up. And I was just okay, cool. Which I thought was weird. At first I thought he totally just chose not to go to work for me. But it turns out he did get in trouble. And they sent him home that day. So it was just weird divine luck on my side. And I don't know why, I just have such a poignant, what is that word, memory of him picking me up for that first time at the gate. And I didn't even know the code, but there was a little way to slip through the gate. So I just did that. But I don't know, at first I was not sure to do that too, so it was weird. It's he was at the gate, and I almost felt that just that extra sense of trapped feeling, oh, I don't even know the code for the gate, let me out of here. And then I just found this little way to slip through, I think. And then we hung out and went on a walk, and it was really nice, and he was really cool, and, we ended up dating, and he ended up being the ex that I'm still just never gonna get over, but and it's funny, too, that I'm saying it also, romantically nostalgic. I mean, I did really like him just from the get-go. I mean, he was super cute and sweet. I always kind of thought of him that Hozier song, Too Sweet, you're too sweet for me. I always thought that of him, which is funny because he ended up being so not sweet. He can be, and then he can be the meanest, but once again, I was so hung up over this other guy still that it was hard for me to appreciate him, because I still kind of had a lot of hung upness about this other guy. And I just But I did really appreciate all that time in the moments. There's a part of me that's like, I wish I had appreciated it more, for sure. But it was also just perfect how it was, I think. I think he liked that I didn't cling so immediately to him either. I kind of was just like in this sassy, I don't need you kind of way, which made him cling more to me, which made me run more away. There's like a super chase mentality vibe for sure there, that I feel like we both like had that problem with, and still do probably, obviously. I'm not good at telling stories. They're like, I don't know how people tell stories. It's like so hard. There's so many like it's like a web. It's not like a like do 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 do. It's like woo. This video is pretty long, so I should probably just stop. But boy, I have so many thoughts. I could just go on. I've done hour-long videos before. Maybe I should just fuck it. Do an hour-long one again. Even though I really have responsibilities. But there's this tarot lady I like who's been very big on the, like, rest. And, like, retrograde vibes are also, like, rest. Like, take your time. Go inward. As opposed to outward stuff. Which is, like, I feel like always hard for humans, too. That's why retrograde vibes are kind of like, ugh, because we don't really want to go inward. We want outward. We want results, you know. But so much really comes within. You know. So much. In fact, one could really say more so than the outside. It's just how you feel inside. You could have like all this stuff on the outside, but it won't matter if you don't feel like it good on the inside, you know. And it's weird because as much as retrograde calls upon the past, I feel like part of it is to realize in that hindsight what you didn't even know you had right in front of you. That was great. So if anything, you gotta like take those lessons to appreciate the present moment. And I was walking around here like a second ago too, realizing like, fuck, I'm like so sad, and yet everything in front of me is actually pretty freaking awesome. Like, I feel like if I showed my parents this place, they would think it was like really chill and cute, and they'd be like really happy for me, and like they would kind of love this, just like the trees and the chickens and the cats and and I am very grateful for what I have right now. I am. It just sucks that I feel like it's been so hard for me to feel safe anywhere, because I struggle so much with the people I'm around and boundaries. And I am a more passive person that really doesn't like confrontation. And anybody that knows me knows this. It's quite obvious. I will avoid conflict like the plague, much like my dad. And I know how much it annoys me how my dad does it, and yet I am doing the same thing. And it just sucks too, because I realize when you have that dynamic, you just keep getting it anywhere you go, because people will notice that you'll like bend for them, so they'll keep pushing you. And so I'm just constantly in this state of like feeling like I'm under somebody's thumb. Like someone always has this authority over me and I have no power, but it's like I am also putting that on myself. And I don't know how to change it. I really don't. It's hard because there are also a lot of logistics as to why that is also like happening. Like, this place was their place first. They're older than me. They have that kind of energy. That's the thing too, is like you'll attract a lot of that energy of the opposite too. It's hard. It's annoying that you just keep getting stuck with the same fucking challenge until you learn the lesson. And low-key, what I realized too is like that like really might be a life lesson. Like, you might have to like realize like, yeah, this is not something you're just gonna learn overnight, or even in this present challenge, you know, like it's gonna keep repeating till you die. You might have to accept that. It's like, damn. And I was thinking about that too, like, how, like, I'll be like, wow, last year was, like, really so emotional when I think back to it. And I'm like, yeah, so was the year before that, and year before that. And it's just, like, amazing how much you're like, how could I ever top out? That was such a freaking emotional year, really. And somehow, magically, you keep topping that. I don't even know if topping it is like the word. It's like amazing how you just keep finding so much emotional change and stuff every year. It's like, wow. Just wow. But change is beautiful, I guess. I find it very sad a lot, but because it's like a lot of endings. But then you have to remember that like a lot of endings are new beginnings. It's hard to remember that, but it is true. But it is sad. But it can be happy when you find those new things. I hope I find something new like that again. Like when he picked me up and I slipped through the gate. I remember it because it felt like such a turning point in the moment. It felt like it. Because I couldn't believe it. Like, wow, this guy just like immediately responded, and like there they are now at the gate. Like they really just like came. They didn't even really know me that well, but then like there they were. like wow, they really just care. They really just responded, and they really just like came to the rescue, like just like that. It was like so cool. It was so cool. And then like I found a job. Like I found two, actually. Just like that, boom, boom, and all of a sudden, and then I found this other place, right in the town of Mendo, which, you know, was crazy. It was crazy. It was just like, it's funny how you like, it happens like that a lot. I feel like you have nothing, and then all of a sudden, like, everything lands in your lap. That's happened with me a lot. And honestly, I'm pretty blessed to have just landed on this. Like, I feel bad for even wanting more. I'm like, really, what more could you want? But I am also like pregnant and like kind of alone, so I feel like it's fair. The father is like, he is super supportive, I think. But we're just very different. And he literally speaks Spanish, and I, like, there's a huge language barrier. And cultural. We're just very, very different. And, like, even if we spoke the same language, I feel like we would still be super, super different. Just on like our how we think and stuff. It's weird. But yeah. And it's like I want to keep him in this picture somehow for the baby and everything, but like also there were a lot of times, and this is another thing I've had to like learn like this lesson that I'm just gonna keep having to try and master. I mean, it goes right along with the boundaries thing. It's just like people kind of like trying to own me, and I do also think it's like patriarchy, sexism kind of thing, like just like this idea of like the guy will like protect and provide, but then he like owns you. It's weird. And when you deal with a lesson over and over again, you get really over it, like I am just so fed up with it that, and even just remotely dealing with it every day subtly, just like sometimes it's like not even big, it's like little subtle ways, but like all of that adds up in such a way where you're just so, and it kind of like takes over your whole entity, identity thing, and it weighs me down so much, like I just so want to break free from that feeling, and I'm afraid of him being in the picture just like really fucking up my sense of freedom and independence if I keep him in the picture. So it's really hard. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but nothing's perfect. So I'm trying to work things out in a peaceful way, but it's been complicated. My roommate tells me I'm leading him on too much, which I guess in a way I agree, but I don't know. I'm also really just trying to be peaceful with them and, tell them I care. I told them I don't think we can live together or be together. They just don't want to accept that. And it's crazy too, because I say all this and then it reminds me of that ex I was just talking about. And we broke up, and then we're talking about maybe getting back together. And then I became the clinging one. And he would tell me he didn't think that we could get back together, and I would get sad, and then he would kind of change his mind, and then I would just kind of forget that he had ever said the other stuff, and I would just cling to but maybe we will. I just stopped reading all the other signs he gave me that he didn't actually want to be together. Oh my god, there's literally so much stuff in my brain, I just can't. I just can't. When you talk so much that your coffee gets cold, I want hot coffee. Coffee gets cold so quickly. It's not fair. Which is funny too, because I'm always the coffee's too hot, but I want to drink it now. And then all of a sudden it's now it's too cold. I don't even want to know what time it is, because God knows it's way later than I want it to be at this point for the things I need to get done. But I need these moments of slowness, and I need to make these stupid videos where I talk too much, just because otherwise it really does become a lot to have all these thoughts swimming in your head all the time. And sadly, a lot of it I feel like I can't properly even express with like a therapist. I haven't found like my perfect match therapist yet either, unfortunately. One day, hopefully, that could also be a thing, and that would be really cool. If I could just add that to my hopeful future manifesting, that would be stellar. But I feel like first I'm gonna have to work up the courage to probably say, I don't know if this one lady's right for me. But I feel bad saying things like that, so I'll just like stay with them. But it's like, if you want change, you have to have the courage to ask for it, and blah blah blah. My belly feels so weird. It's like the tightness and the fullness is insane. On another note, I don't know why, I was thinking about the belly, and then I thought about like the whale. I was watching all these Kate McKinnon videos, and this will happen a lot too, where I watch something a lot and then I just start to channel it. And so I was like suddenly just channeling Kate McKinnon, and I was like able to do a not so great but not too shabby Kate McKinnon impression. And I sent the audio to my friend who also loves Kate McKinnon from SNL, and she loved it. And it kind of all started with me going like, I was talking to myself like, well, folks, and then that sounded like whale, so then I just kept saying whale instead of well, talking like Kate McKinnon. I don't know if I can do it right now though, because the really, really, really hard thing about being like a comedian or humor or like doing impressions or acting in general, but definitely you high-key notice it with impressions, is like they're really hard, because like in your head it's almost like you could do it so much better if it weren't for the act of like having to do it. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like the second you start thinking about actually doing it to show somebody, it just becomes like 10 million times harder. It just psychs you out so hard that you almost just can't do it anymore. So I don't know if I can do it. Now, let me try. It's because I'm like, I don't want to forget that I did that. I don't know, but that's funny too, because my friend thought that Kate reminded them of my mom. Because my mom can be really crazy too. The thing with Kate too is like she does this grin and acts really happy when she's like actually kind of losing it internally. And my mom is like that. My mom will always just like put on this grin, put on this like happy face, when inside she's really going crazy, and you can kind of tell it's not really subtle. And like it was cool too, because a lot of the videos I was watching of her was her doing this impression of Ellen DeGeneres, and she's talking about how she came up with the Ellen DeGeneres impression, and just talking about that. It's like you listen to how they say certain letters and things, and like how they move, and like all of that becomes all part of it, you know. She'll even like talk through her grin a little. So it's like, and it's kind of like very under her breath with certain pauses. You know, almost Christopher Walken like, but not. But like, yeah, there's very certain pauses that are kind of weird. She's like catching up with herself in this choo-choo train. And there's definitely some nodding and some eyebrows, and there's a lot of hand things for sure. It's like tight, repressed energy that's gonna explode. Which I was like telling my friend too. I was like, I feel like to properly channel it, I would need like 20 cups of coffee. And then maybe my eye would twitch along with it, which would be good. But yeah, I don't know if I can do it. It's like, well, folks, I might be a whale, but at least I'm a whale that is a whale. Like, and see, like, I don't know what I'm turning in. I feel like I'm mixing it with other things, but like, it's hard too because, like, you know, she's a comedian that does a lot of different characters, so. And it's almost like they're all mixed in her all the time when she talks. So when you do an impression of her, it's almost like you're trying to embrace every character she does all rolled into one. Oh my god, that scared me. Now my neighbors are outside. So I'm officially psyched out. So you can just give up on any more impression. I can't do it. This is where it's sad too, because like part of me like thinks, because she was talking about it too, like, you know, being on the set of SNL for the first time, in that stage, it's like the gates of heaven. And like, I mean, I feel that way too, just from watching it as a kid, and like, it's so iconic. And like, that's like, it's just a dream. It's like hosting SNL or something, being on that stage. But it's also like, why would I fantasize that? Because it sounds so nerve-wracking also, like, that I would just die. So, okay, I really should just go, because I'm getting hella psyched out now. My landlord is outside making his chicken noises for the chickens. And they usually want to like say something random to me all the time, so I should just go. So yeah, that's it. Happy Cancer vibes.